in the Mediterranean Sea, and Dodanum. You know, like when you look up some of these names, Tubal and Meshach and Gomer, you know, and Togarmah, those are some of the allies of Russia that Russia's going to help, you know, fight. And some of these are located in the land of Turkey today, you know, because the original people of Turkey, like I said, were dark skinned, and then the so-called white men came up in there and took over, you know, over process of time, you know. So right now, all of these lands are inhabited by Turks. You know, they're inhabited by Turks. They're inhabited by other Edomite families, you know. And now, to show you how deep this thing is, some of those so-called white-looking people are Israelites, you know, because Israel was scattered throughout all those lands. Like a lot of those Syrians right now that are so-called refugees and moving out of the land, a lot of them are Ephraimites and different other tribes, you know, that were there, you know, that were brought to that land, you know. So that's how deep this thing is, you know. It's a confusion of faces, you know. So all people on the planet Earth are moved around, moved out of their land. They look like different, you know, you can't tell. That's why the Lord has to be the one to come down and sift everything out.
Yeah, the angels. Like the parable Yahushua taught, he said the angels they will come down and sever the wicked from the just.
That's right. Okay, back in Genesis 10 and 5, it said, by these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue and their family and their nations. Right? So they took over all those isles. That's talking about just dealing with Japheth alone, the Polynesian, so-called Polynesian people today, which are predominantly in the South Pacific islands, down in Australia, you know, and in those regions. Excuse me.
And that word Japheth, the Hebrew word there is yapah, which means beautiful. And they are beautiful people, the people of the Pacific South Islands. They're beautiful people. So-called Hawaiians, you know, they're a very attractive-looking people, you know.
Verse 9, and the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim and Put and Canaan. And it's heavy because, you know, the Hamites, all of those Hamite families, they were all dark-skinned people. You know, those are the so-called Africans today. And the way the Lord did it, you know, he allowed certain things to remain, you know, like the name of the river Euphrates. He allowed that name, the ancient name from way back in the days, to be there still, you know, because there's certain clues that the Lord left for us, you know, and through process of elimination, you know who's who, you know, just like the Hamites. Everybody knows, I mean, not everybody, but some people that are learned, should I say, know that whenever you mention the land of Ham or the Hamites or the Canaanites, anybody like that, they know that those are talking about those so-called Africans in the land of Africa and their respective tribes, because they were broken up into 4 families, you know. Now, in the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary, when you look up the name Ham, to show you further proof that these devils know the truth, and when you look up the name Ham, just bear with me here 1 second, it says Ham. It says perhaps hot. It says perhaps hot. You know, that's what they're saying. It means perhaps hot. You know, it means hot. You know, some people say it means black and all that. It don't mean black. It means hot. You know, not cold. It says the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor, or the father, you know, or the beginning line. It said he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. You know, but it goes on to say, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and Canaanites. So basically, this father here, Ham, he was the father of those dark Hamitic tribes today, them so-called dark African tribes.
Notice it says not the Negroes, but the Egyptians. So right there, they're telling you the Egyptians, you got these simple-minded so-called Negroes, the house of consciousness, swear up and down the Egyptians. Yep. And then that, just in that definition alone, it's telling you that the Egyptians, that the so-called Negroes are not Egyptians.
Yep. Yeah, because, see, these people are so ignorant that they think that just because people look similar or they have the same skin tone, same color, texture of skin, that makes them the same people. But when you go back to the beginning, everybody was dark. Everybody had that brown melanin in their skin and that woolly hair. And through process of time, the Lord started changing that, you know. So just because somebody looks dark, don't mean that they're the same people. They're not, that they're the same race. You know, it goes by your family line, by your father's line, his father's lineage. You know. So going back, so pretty much, you know, Ham is established. You know who the Hamites are today, the so-called dark skin, like the Sudanese. The South Africans, you know, and people of those regions of lands, and you have certain Hamites that are mixed in among West Africa and all that, but the majority of those people in West Africa are Israelites, you know, that were pushed down there after the Roman persecution of 70 A.D. They were pushed into Egypt and to the interiors of Africa,
and they kept themselves separate.
Yep.
They didn't really mingle with the Hamites, the natives of that land.
That's right, and that's why those Hamites of that land knew who to grab up to sell
exactly
to the so-called white man.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, you mentioned that. I have to do more research on it, but I think there was a agency called African Trading Agency.
Yeah, it says here, I looked up the word Ham in the this Bible. Harper's Bible Dictionary, and it says it mentions Genesis 5:10, Noah's second son, between Shem and Japheth, and the father of Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. Okay, so we're going to look up Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan.
You know, because you know the research is there. You know, but the thing about it is that this devil has lied to the people. You know, ever since they took over, their main goal was deception. Gone. You know, so every once in a while they bring out the truth. You know, but then they'll tell you so-called Negroes in America that you're Africans. You know, African Americans, and then they have clowns like Polite and Sadnet and them, you know, pushing that lie and continuing to push that lie that you people are Hamites, and you're not Hamites. And even the Hamites from the land of so-called Africa, they even tell you to your face that you're not their people. You know, they don't accept you. They don't come over here and vibe with you or hang out with you because there's two separate people. Although you may look similar to them, that's not your people. You know, but here it is, your own brothers here, you fight and kill each other, you know. But the people that you want to cling on to, they don't give a damn about you, man. They don't accept you, you know. So it goes on to say, and the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim and Put and Canaan, and the sons of Cush, Seba and Havilah and Sabta and Ra'amah and Sablina, and the sons of Ra'amah, Sheba and Dedan. Now, when you look at these plots of land here, you'll notice that they're all throughout the so-called Arabian Peninsula, some of them, you know. But they all go back to Cush, and Cush today are the so-called Ethiopians, you know. And their empire was vast, you know, because remember the Babylonians, they were Cushites, you know, and they ruled up in Babylon, up there in Iraq, in that region up there, you know. So you had a lot of Hamites up in that area, all what you call today the land of Israel. Those are all Canaanites, you know, so-called dark-skinned African people.